kids, Miss Kulkarni here. Today we are going to talk about physical and chemical changes and how the physical properties of compounds get changed when there is a chemical reactions. And there are some key factors which are indicators that will tell us if the chemical change took place or not. So let's begin, and I am going to put on my cool glasses, safety goggles here. And let me begin with our first reaction. We are actually going to mix two clear colorless liquid. So what I have here is a dilute lead nitrate solution, and what I have over here is potassium iodide solution. So you might imagine we are going to mix two colorless solution. What might happen? We might just end up having a big large colorless solution. So here what I did, in this test tube I already have some potassium iodide solution. To that I am going to add this lead nitrate solution, which is also a colorless solution, and here goes the first drop, and look what happened. It ended up giving you a thick yellow solid. We call this as a precipitate. So a precipitate is something which suddenly forms when two or more liquids are mixed up, and it is a solid which is formed in that liquid layer. So this is an example of chemical change and chemical reaction. What did you observe? Our both chemicals before were colorless, and what we ended up getting was a yellow solid. So we saw a change in color. We also saw by mixing liquids we got a solid. So there we go. We learned one reaction, and from that the two indicator factors for a chemical reaction. Here is the second reaction we are going to begin with, and we have, let me show here, a beautiful shining magnesium ribbon. What we are going to do is we are going to take a piece of that ribbon, and let me show it here. This is a small piece, and we are going to do a chemical reaction on that. So here you go. I put that in the test tube, that piece which we had, and to that I am going to add hydrochloric acid. So let me tell you what I have here. So I'm adding to that hydrochloric acid, and oh, look what happened. You can probably hear there is a hissing sound. There are some bubbles coming. There are also some fumes coming out from the test tube, and if I touch that test tube gently, I can feel there is some heat release. So there are three different things which we saw in this chemical reaction. Number one, bubbles. Second, there are fumes coming, hissing sound, and test tube becoming hot. So some reactions can give rise to heat. There are some reactions which may actually absorb heat, and the substance may get colder. So let's move on to our third reaction, and what we are going to do is we are going to take the same magnesium ribbon, and we are actually going to oxidize that by burning it in burner. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So let me cut a small piece of magnesium ribbon, and let's go near burner. Alright, so we are ready for our one more chemical reaction. We got burner setup ready, and then we got this magnesium ribbon, which is a shiny solid which we have here, and now we are going to insert that in the flame to find out what happens. And look there, it's a bright light. And then look what happened. It's completely changed its nature. What we have here is simply white ash. Is no longer shiny. So what we ended up observing was there was a different bright flame. Then also there was some heat created, and we completely changed the nature of the substance. So those are the symptoms of a chemical reaction. So here we are, we finished our reaction, and look what we ended up getting. We ended up getting a white color ash. It's not any longer shiny at all. So magnesium ribbon turned into a gray color solid. Totally different nature, is no longer shining. And also during the burning, what did you see? You saw beautiful bright light flame. So light is an indicator of chemical reaction, and of course there was some heat released along with burning too. So with these simple examples, you figured out that chemical reactions will always have some key indicators. You have to keep an eye, watch for those. And when you see those, you know pretty much there is something happening. There is going to be a chemical change. And in chemical change, we end up having a totally new product. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We will be doing many reactions in our chemistry lab, and we'll have a lot of fun. So I will see you again in next video.